Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, dudes and dudettes, no matter where you're at. You're all part here on the Dude Network, and you're watching the NFL Week 7 Dude Sports Sessions NFL Pickem. And today, to prove that we will let absolutely anybody on this show, we have a good friend of mine from back in the college days. He's got enough stories to bury me for the next 10 lifetimes. Ryan, the Eagles fan, Richardson. What is up, Chanticleer?
I'm glad you threw Eagles fan in there so people know what territory I represent.
Yeah, so when you pick the Eagles, everyone's going to be like, all right, well, we saw that one coming.
As an Eagles fan, I know we're not good, so I don't know if I am going to pick us.
Yeah. We're very special here because we have a little sponsor here. I'm going to make what is going to be the fastest old-fashioned from Pratt Standard, with their new agave old-fashioned syrup. It is simply the easiest thing, once you get it open, of course, to do a half ounce of old-fashioned bitters, 2 ounces of bourbon, take your lime because it is agave spiced, throw it in there, and
Dude, cheers. That was delicious.
Dude, the lime with the agave and the bourbon is a game changer. It is one of the tastiest old fashions ever. So everybody get on prattstandard.com. They have all recipes for all their syrups. Right now it's the fall seasonal lineup. Very delicious stuff. Proud to have them as part of the Dude Network. Go get you a bottle today and tell them the Dude Network sent you. So anyway, Week 7, man. How are we doing over there in Philadelphia? You surviving? It's been a rough start to the season, but it's got some peaks, got some valleys. A lot of valleys, couple peaks. Where are you at, man?
You're right. It's just brutal, man. It's just it's constantly up and down. Is Jalen Hurts for real? I don't know. Is Jalen Hurts not for real? There's just too many.
I'm so tired of people judging quarterbacks without a competent team around him and try to it's like unfair expectations. Like, what would Jalen really have to do this year to bring that team to a playoff caliber team? And I think he's doing pretty good. So
I don't know. I'm not a big fan. He stares down his first option completely every single time. He doesn't know how to progress through his reads. He's that standard college running quarterback that looks off his first read and then runs when he's not open.
Or they can do what they're doing in Baltimore and build a team around him.
It's true. Lamar's special, though. Lamar's way more special than Jalen is.
But I don't know, man. The shifty quarterback, they can all be special in the right system, but also coaching might have a little something to do with it.
Yeah, Nick Sirianni leaves a lot to be desired yet. We'll see.
The big Polish wonder.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man.
It's got to be. Look at you, man. Do you even know what to do with yourself with wins over there?
I don't know. It's hard being over 500 in Week 7 for the second time since 1999. It's been a good life. Been a good life over here, but we're living our best life here. And cheers.
I remember when we first met, and I was like, "You're a Browns fan? What do you guys even cheer for?" And you were like, "Not even the draft, because we fucked that up too."
Yeah, it's true. That's true. Yeah, that was probably let's see, when we first 2005. I don't even know. We were probably drafting Camarion Wembley or something stupid at that time.
Did you guys draft Achilles Smith, or was that the Bengals?
No, that was the Bengals.
The Bengals, yeah.
They've at least got a couple quarterbacks right though, with Andy Dalton and now Joe Burrow and Carson Palmer before Troy Polamalu cheap shot at his knee.
True, Carson Palmer, the best quarterback to ever come out of USC.
You know what though? That's not saying a whole lot. USC has produced a lot of bust quarterbacks over the years because
in college they were studs like Matt Leinart. There's a laundry list of studs in college, but then
they're studs in LA, man. They went back down to pecking block when you go to the NFL. You can't go from the king of Los Angeles to the king of Cincinnati and expect to have the same mojo, you know.
Burrow's the real deal though. Burrow's legit, man. They're gonna be good. That's gonna be a good game this week. Is the Bengals Ravens game. I'm looking forward to that game.
Yeah, and I know last night it was Thursday night football. It wasn't the most exciting of games, but the Browns defense did what they had to do, and I think that the Browns personally showed that they don't need a top-tier quarterback to make a deep run in the playoffs. They have put a lot of pieces and investments in other areas of the field. Defense still needs a little bit more depth overall in that second and third tier, but their top-tier talent on defense is significantly improved from last year, so it's all going to come down to injuries like everywhere else. But on the offensive side, as we saw last night, they can deal with more injuries and still be pretty good. And Ernest Johnson, I even put on Twitter yesterday, don't sleep on Demetric Felton and Ernest Johnson. They are playing behind Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. So let's keep that in consideration on how much playing time they actually get. And yeah, every Browns fan was loving some some Ernest Johnson last night, man. And he was in his shout out from LeBron. His reaction to the LeBron shout out in the press conference was unbelievable.
What I missed that. What did he say?
Basically, he's like, "Hey, LeBron shouted." He's like, "What? Like LeBron?" And then one guy's like, "Man, you made it, man."
That's how you know you made it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's as good as he was last night. I mean, you guys have a great problem with 3 just stud running backs, which running backs in the NFL these days are really hard to come by.
Right. And well, then you had Demetric Felton, a rookie out of UCLA, who was the return specialist and the guy that you put out in the flats. So, yeah. But anyway, big win for the Browns, but it kind of set the tone for week 7. There's a lot of good games on the lineup. As we do here on the Dude Network, we're going to go down. We'll talk about the spread some, but the spreads changed so much. So we're just going to do a simple pick'em, and we're going to keep track of who does what. And then we're going to, since I'm going to be in the great state of Pennsylvania this next week, I think we're each going to do a 16-team parlay for $10-20 and just see what happens.
Oh boy, if it hits, we'll be drinking some Pappy after that.
Yeah, I'm just going to go get Pappy. I mean, the Buffalo Trace is cool and all, but yeah, we'll splurge a little bit.
Yeah.
So, well, again, thanks for hopping on here, man. Appreciate you on here. I know sometimes whenever you have a little bit of rough season, these things, just do just a little bit better. So, but yeah, this help you get through the long season that is. Trust me, as a Browns fans, I was in a lot of pickems over the years, and so
yeah, sure, yeah. Things on the cheer for.
So first, we're going to talk about the main Sunday, the Sunday 1:00 games. Starting out, and I think there's going to be some really lopsided games, but the NFL is yet to have that week where all pandemonium happens. It
almost happened like 2 weeks ago.
Almost.
Like the Patriots almost lost to the Jets?
Texans.
There was the Texans. Yeah, there's a couple of nail-biter games that came down at that week.
Yeah, but it's definitely there's definitely some good ones, and especially right at 1:00. We're going to start out with the top of the list here. Washington, the WFT, the football sentence team is the Washington pronouns are up at Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field. And Aaron Rodgers is just wheeling and dealing. 5-1. The spread is 8 points, which may not be enough. I think you'd still get some Green Bay action at 11 on this game here, because if you look at you got Taylor Heineke versus Aaron Rodgers. I do a simple quarterback versus quarterback as my top thing, and then I'm going to go to running backs to running backs, and Green Bay's just got them beat. Maybe not on defense. Washington's defense is supposed to be the heart and soul and has been straight booty hole the whole year. I'm going Green Bay.
Yeah, and if you throw home field advantage in, who wants to play in Green Bay? It's a very difficult place to play. And dude, what about Aaron Rodgers? Week 1, you were like, he held out, doesn't want to be there anymore, almost demanding a trade, and then he lays down that stinker week 1. He's just been a straight stud, Aaron Rodgers, ever since then. I thought he was just going to keep being a whiny baby, just trying to get out of there, but he's stepped up, and I think honestly, this is Green Bay double digits all day.
He's so methodical. It almost makes you wonder if he just didn't do it to send a message. I mean,
hair too. Like he's growing out the hair thing.
So that's where you got it. Yeah, you didn't. Yeah, you're trying to look like A-Rod over here with a little bit of.
Well, we have the same arm, so.
Yeah. Except you can throw like 91, on the fly. So all right, so we're both there. That's a layup here. So I hate, as much as I hate to agree with you and anything that Philadelphia thinks, but I have to go with you on that one. But this next game is going to be one of the doozies of the 1:00 round, and that is the Kansas City Chiefs at the Tennessee Titans. Titans coming off a short week. Kansas City, they got to get something going. If they lose at Tennessee here, Tennessee is going to go up to like a top tier AFC team, because now all of a sudden they're 6-2. 5-2, to where Kansas City could easily drop down to 3-4 in that very, very tough AFC West. And for that reason alone, I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs straight up. The spread is Kansas City -4.5. I do like Tennessee at home getting 5 points. Almost 5 points.
Again, the points. Yeah, but that's a division too. Look at that. Chargers 4-2, Raiders 4-2, Chiefs 3-3, Broncos 3-4 after that Thursday night game. I mean, the Chiefs have to. I mean, their defense is atrocious, but when you have Patrick Mahomes, you always have a chance.
Yes.
And I think,
yeah, I mean, you still have Tyreek Hill, you still have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you still have Williams, you still have Kelsey. I mean, they still have Sammy Watkins out there. I mean, they're tough.
Sammy Watkins, such an afterthought. Well, Edwards-Hilaire's on IR because I knew that because he's on my fantasy team. But the backup kid they got, I just saw him. He had a pretty good game. Was it last week? Yeah, I think it was last week. But I think the Titans coming off a huge emotional win last week too. That's a huge thing. Like it's hard to get back up for another game after that.
And that's Vegas. That's Vegas coming up with them giving up 4.5 at home. They know it's a perfect scenario here. Tennessee, even if they lose this, their fans base is still going to be super ecstatic that they took care of Josh Allen, who was supposed to be the favorite for the AFC this year, especially with how they started out after that tough Pittsburgh loss in Week 1. So, all right. So I'm going Kansas City, and you're going Kansas City. I don't like where this is.
That spread's tough, though. I mean, that's like I agree with you. If I'm taking points, I'm taking a home dog all day. But I could see Kansas City winning that by a touchdown.
Absolutely. So next, I mean, it's a tough game. It's probably going to be a good game because it's two terrible teams. Atlanta at Miami. Tua is back. They did look like a better, different team at parts last week, but still, you know, somebody was eventually going to lose to a driven Jaguars team with Trevor Lawrence, especially over in London. So now they're coming back across the big pond, but they're rewarded with a home game against the Atlanta Falcons. Matt Ryan, 2-3. Spreads 2.5 points. Atlanta minus 2.5. I'm going with Miami.
This is it. This is where we disagree.
Yes, finally. Thank God.
You got the Dolphins coming back from London on a jet lag time delay after an emotional game, losing to the Jags. Then you surround them in the trade controversy of them getting Deshaun Watson. Finally, the coach came out and said, no, Tua is our guy, and we're going to do this. You have Atlanta coming off. Atlanta's coming off of a bye, I believe. I'm taking Atlanta, and I will lay the 2.5 all day on that.
All right. I think Tua is going to be woke, as all the cool kids say these days, after the trade rumors, after literally just coming off 1 week off a pretty significant rib injury. So, yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to get one on you there. So that's good news. On to the next one.
No way that you win that.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes way. Yes way.
That is a lock.
Lock. All right. That means I'm definitely going to win because you only say lock when you're unsure. I know you long enough to know that. So next we got the Jets, the Jets, suck. I mean, Jets at the New England Patriots with the 2-4 versus 1-4. I mean, we probably expected the Jets to be 1-4, but with all the money the Patriots spent in the offseason on their weapons and getting a lot of their defensive guys back that stood out last year, very surprising game. They're 7-point favorites at home, and I think that's exactly what they win by in this game. I think this has backdoor push written all over it, but on the straight up New England at home against the Jets, if you ever see me pick the Jets, check my pulse. That's my rule.
Hey, they did win a game this year, which probably burned a lot of people in their suicide boat.
Which means I'm 4 out of 5 on the Jets this year. I'll take it.
Yeah.
That's better than what I got at Coastal.
Yeah. I'm all over. I mean, Patriots all day, and I think they cover the 7. The Jets don't give me anything to be desired. They're always poorly coached, always poorly managed. Their front office is atrocious. They're just cycling through crappy quarterbacks. They're just terrible. And I think Mac Jones is the real deal. I think Belichick knows what he's doing with that, and I think Mac Jones in the next 2 or 3 years is going to be an MVP caliber quarterback. I mean, I think and look at that Cowboys game. I hate to admit it. Cowboys are good, and they took him to overtime, and they almost beat him.
Yeah, and I mean, I just think it's only a matter of time for New England goes on some sort of run this year, and I think this is going to be the game to kind of give them a chance to get this started. So we're both going to go with New England on that one. And then the next, another interesting matchup, the Panthers at the Giants. All these 1 o'clock games are awesome. They're very equal. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be really hard for bettors this week because a lot of coin flips here.
I'll take this one. I maybe a little bit biased in this because I think the Giants suck, but I'm going to take the Panthers in this all day. I think the Panthers are underrated. I think they've just gotten into a bad streak for a little bit. They lost to us, which they had no business losing that game. The Giants without Saquon, I don't even think they have a wide receiver. Sterling Shepard came back. He's got to get back in this.
Yeah, Tony, their first round pick, Tony's on the injured, so he's out.
Got put on IR. Saquon's out. Their defense doesn't give you anything to be desired. And Carolina's defense, I think, is probably going to step up. And I love Matt Rule as a coach. I think Matt Rule is a great coach. And I think
he's done a lot with not much this year, because I have been a believer that the Panthers are still another draft and offseason away from having a pretty good squad. But I am happy to see that they have found some life in Sam Darnold, and that the Jets suck did not ruin him.
A little bit of life in Sam Darnold. There's just a little bit
of life. I got a couple PSA 10s that I just got that I really hope that he has a little bit more than a little.
Yeah. Well, thank God he got out of New York, because I mean, when you get drafted in,
is there a luckier guy in the NFL this year than Sam Darnold?
Yeah,
I think he's the luckiest. I mean, he's by far the luckiest. He fell in front of a decent team. He's got Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore down there with him, and now they got Chubba Lubba Hubbard that's going to make Christian McCaffrey disposable. So he's gone this offseason.
Chris McCaffrey is not disposable. When he's healthy, he is.
With that contract, his contract makes him disposable, not his talent. That's the worst contract in the NFL. No one can change my mind.
That Zach Ertz contract was pretty bad. That's why we had to trade him. I wish he could have stayed. Love Zach Ertz. I love him. He'll be one of the players we adore forever. But that contract was just too much.
Yeah. Well, Ohio guys deserve a premium. You know that. So, all right. So I'm going to go with the Panthers to get back on track, and it's going to be such a bad loss for the Giants that Joe Judge is officially on the hot seat, and Danny Dimes is going to be like an afterthought after this.
Carolina's a 3-point favorite in that game in New York. So,
I mean, Carolina's lost 3 in a row. I don't see them losing 4 in a row. If they do, watch out. They might go on a train wreck for the rest of the season. But
it's leading that division too. That division is of the Bucks.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're not beating the Bucks, but they could still be in the wild card. But the NFC West is going to take up maybe both of them this year. It's going to be interesting. So, all right, Carolina. So I'm Carolina. You're Carolina, right?
Yeah, Carolina.
All right. The next one, maybe the game of the day. The Cincinnati Bengals at the Baltimore Ravens. Joe Burrow knocking on the door of Lamar Jackson saying, I want the crown of the AFC North, and I want it today, and I'm going to take it from you in your house. Baltimore used to be the Browns. They're associated with Art Modell, so I will never pick Baltimore in any close game. I'm going with the Bengals.
Wow.
Joe Burrow lays the hammer down, and I just think Baltimore is honestly due for a down game. I think with all the injuries, I think this is the game that finally shows where the lack of depth from all the injuries catch up to them.
So you're taking Ohio's better team in this game?
What's that?
You're taking Ohio's better team in this game?
No, I'm taking the second best team in Ohio, but that's still pretty good because that first team's the Super Bowl champions this year. So,
bold statement. I love to see what the futures bet is on that.
Yeah. I don't know. After last night, it might have dropped a little bit.
It probably did, which is in your favor. This is going to be a good game. I think anytime you get these division games in this division, what do you guys? You guys are the AFC North. This division just beats the shit out of each other. And,
yes.
And the Steelers are the garbage team in this division this year, which is like insane because they're always consistently good.
Hate to see it.
I think Ben's at the end of his career here, but this is going to be a great game, man. I think this is a show me game for Joe Burrow. Like, if you come into Baltimore and beat Lamar Jackson in this, I agree with you. I think the injuries are going to catch up to the Ravens eventually, but I can't take the Bengals on the road. If I've learned anything gambling in the last 20 years, is you cannot take the Bengals on the road. That's like taking the Steelers on the road. You can't do it. You got to take the Ravens. I got Lamar Jackson.
I tell you, you taking the 6.5 point spread on this?
That's way too many points.
That's way too many points. There's something going on in Vegas that they know on this game. That Cincinnati pick does concern me because that is a lot of points. Vegas always knows.
Yeah. Well, Baltimore, I think, is a public team now with Lamar and how flashy they are. So I think they figure they get a lot of public money on it. But I can't. That's way too many points, especially for that division. In that division, I'm not taking anything more than 3 points from any team, even if against the Steelers and how shitty they are. No, it's still that division just beats the shit out of each other.
Right. Yeah. So, All right. That's so that rounds out the 1 o'clock games here on that. So now we're going to move on to the first 4 o'clock game that your Philadelphia Eagles are at the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders only giving up 3 points to John Gruden. The fiasco out there has really put that season in limbo, and the line shows it in this one. I'm a low key. I fell in love with the Eagles when I came to Philadelphia that one wild weekend, eating Pats and Genos and all the other fake, not authentic Philly cheesesteaks out there. I'm going to go with the Las Vegas Raiders in the Death Star. Vegas. It's Vegas.
Pre-COVID, when this happened, I was going to get tickets, and a couple of my buddies were going to go out to this game because we had this conversation. I had an opportunity to buy seat licenses out there, right? So you own those seats, and then you get tickets for every game, whatever. And I was like, my big thing was like reselling the tickets because I'm not going to every game, obviously. And we talked about it. And we were like, you know what's going to happen? Your team is going to be playing the Raiders, and you and your buddies are going to want to go to Vegas for a couple of days for the weekend. You're going to fly out on a Friday. You're going to go to the game. You're going to fly back on Monday, and an entire stadium is going to be Eagles fans. No one's a Raiders fan in Las Vegas. So it's going to be like a home game for us. And you add in the Gruden controversy and their backup coach. I'm taking the Eagles all day. And that is not a homer pick. That is
that's the most homer pick of homer picks of homerous picks. It's the Odyssey. That's how homer it is.
We're not, our defense is good, and we're not. Jalen, I honestly feel like is the one that holds us back the most. If Sirianni could just run the fucking football, Miles Sanders should be a stud top 5 running back all-star every year, but he doesn't get the touches to do it. And I feel like this might be the game where he lets him run the football.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say they can't do it, because they certainly can. They certainly can. And I'm hoping because I am definitely I am a Jalen Hurts fan.
That screams Eagles to me, by the way.
What's that?
That 2.5 line. If that Gruden thing hadn't happened, this is a 6-point game.
Oh, this is an 8. It might be 8. I mean, it might be more, at least the 7 in the hook for sure. But yeah, I'm with you on that one. And that's what also might give the Eagles. I mean, they're going in a completely different coaching direction mid-season after, pretty early in the season. So they've took the offseason to build a whole thing, and then it's just gone already. So interesting on how, yeah. All right, the next game, the Matt Stafford Bowl. Matt Stafford hosting his ex-Detroit Lions. The Lions are due for a victory at some point. They've been close. 16-point spread, and that's all you need to know, folks. In a straight-up game, I don't like the spread. That's blowing somebody out. But I will say it's going to be the Rams in this one, and to pick them for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to tell you the Rams right off the bat because we all know that it is. But this is a revenge game for Jared Goff. This is not a revenge game for Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford got the way better end of that deal because he's now on a Super Bowl caliber team, and they just took Jared Goff and they were like, "See you later. You're at the Jets' redheaded stepchild, Detroit Lions. Like that's where you end up because they're basically the same team."
I think they're like a redheaded step cousin because the child would be an upgrade.
Good. That's a good change of words there. It is a cousin. But I honestly, the spread scares me for that reason because I feel like Jared Goff will be playing with a chip on his shoulder, and Detroit's not. I mean, they're bad, but they're not that terrible. And they should, in any NFL game, 16 points is way too many to lay. And you're betting on a blowout, which it seems like it happens a lot, but it really doesn't.
All right. So next here we have the Texans at the Cardinals.
All day. I mean,
18-point spread. 18-point spread.
That's just. I mean, Kyle.
Will that be the highest of the year?
That's a good question. 18 points is a lot.
Dude, 20 is like 20 never happens. That's hard to see in college football.
In good division matchups, you see those like 50-point spreads sometimes when you get like Appalachian State playing like Michigan, and then.
Let's talk about Appalachian State. Or are you not ready yet?
Are you ready? Did they beat Coastal?
They did. They did.
It's America's team. We're America's team.
You wear the hat and you don't even know. Wow.
America's team.
Wow. That's just your beard strangling it out of your brain. That's what that is.
Hey, we made Zach Wilson our bitch, and now he's everybody's bitch.
Hey, Mullets versus the Mormons, one of the best touted games of all time.
Yeah, America needed that during COVID, so you're welcome.
It did cure a lot of people, that's for sure. So, all right, yeah, I mean, Arizona, I don't like that spread. That's a lot. I mean, this has Zona taking it easy and trying to keep people healthy written all over it, and that's 18 points is a lot in that situation. But straight up, obviously, Zona
taking air. And you know what? Though on that though, Kyler Murray, I feel like Kyler Murray was Jalen Hurts like a year ago. He was, that first read run. Now he's really developed into a really nice quarterback. So I hope you're right and Jalen Hurts does develop into this. But I'll hold my breath.
Yeah, for sure. So. To round out the last game of this lackluster 4:00 slate, because we can all agree after seeing this, if you're going to take a break to you drink too many beers early, you're going to take a nap in the 4:00 games, because you have the Bears at Tampa Bay. It's 11.5. So out of the 4:00 games, 3 of the spreads are 16, 18, and 11.5. 3 pretty lopsided, which could lead to some crazy upsets. We've seen it before. One big injury mid-game and everything gets changed. But obviously, Tampa Bay, even with 11.5, Tampa Bay.
An alien spaceship would have to come down and suck Tom Brady off of the field along with the rest of their offensive weapons.
Or his knee turns into avocado ice cream in the second quarter by some wicked witch posting a mad cast and potion on him or something.
They don't even have a chance at that game. This is an atrocious 4:00 slate. I guess when the NFL did this, they weren't expecting these teams to be that bad.
Yeah, but the 1:00 slate is so action packed. Actually, the Eagles Raiders probably the game to watch.
That's the only game to watch in that.
The only game to in the 4:00 schedule. So, all right, we got the Sunday night football action, and actually, I'm looking forward to this game because it's going to be the Indianapolis Colts at the San Francisco 49ers in Santa Clara, California. I always have to throw that out there. And then in -4 points at home, Carson Wentz wins his game. I have faith in Carson. I just don't think he's as bad as people. I'm not saying he's great, but he's put up numbers for a reason over the years. And I just think the 49ers just don't have enough on offense right now. I just think it's amazing Kyle Shanahan let this offensive roster get to this point on the 49ers. So it's a little disappointing on John Lynch, Mr. GM extraordinaire, really let down the Niners this year with this team. So I'm going to go with the Colts straight up. So I definitely like, on a separate note, the Colts with getting 4 on the road.
I do. The Colts 4 is if you're playing the spread, that's the play all day. That's way too many points for the San Francisco team. This is going to be a really good game. And I think the Colts are one of the most underrated teams in the league. I thought once they got Carson Wentz, I thought they were a legit Super Bowl contender. And if you go back and look at their schedule, they lost that in a tight game to the Rams. They lost a fluke game to the Titans. They beat the Dolphins, and then that Ravens game that was nuts. I'm a big Carson Wentz fan. I think Carson Wentz is missing a little bit up here as far as a locker room presence and being a leader. But as far as a quarterback goes, I think he's a great quarterback. And they got T.Y. Hilton back now, who got a game under his belt. Maybe he can start a little bit more. It's such a hard game. It's gonna be a good game. I feel like I have to, the Niners defense. I feel like I got to take the Niners in this game.
Yeah, I will go. It's going to be the under. This game screams under, but the under might only be like 40 points in this game.
Yeah,
but
the Colts have a really good defense too. And
yes,
I just think
they really do.
Yeah, I'm a big Kyle Shanahan fan, and I think he just finds a way to make it work sometimes with just mediocre.
Yep. So Monday Night Football, the game of games for the week, and it's not as attractive as what they probably thought when they put this game on the schedule. But you have the New Orleans, Jameis. I have new eyes with LASIK, but still throw interceptions. Winston. And at Seattle, the 13th man with probably, I don't even know, they might have brought Todd Blackledge out of ESPN retirement to be their starting quarterback in this game here. So I don't even know. New Orleans is still, they're -4.5 on the road. The Seahawks have no quarterback, so I'm going to go with the team that has a quarterback that's at least started more than a couple games with success. So I want to go with the Saints.
Just shitting all over Geno Smith.
I mean, that's how bad the Hawks situation is, that Mr. Crableg himself can win this game.
Dude, Mr. Crableg himself. Did you watch that game last week? He looked pretty decent, man.
He can do it. That's never been Jameis's problem. It's when is it going to happen? You know, it's like Ryan Fitzpatrick. He'll have like 3 games of 300 yards in a row and 3 touchdowns and only 1 interception. Then the next 2 weeks he'll have 8 picks and no touchdowns.
That's Jameis Winston. He's either good.
That's what I'm saying. It's the same thing. So what are we going to get here? I am going to crap all over him.
5 interceptions with like 2 returns for touchdowns. Yeah, I just man, the Saints are really missing Drew Brees, because if they had Drew Brees, they're instant playoff contender, like Super Bowl contender instantly. I feel like the Seahawks at this point, they're a gritty team. Like Pete Carroll, he tends to get guys to get up and play for him, especially backups. And they know if they don't win this game, this is their season. Their season is on the line here, and especially in that division. And at home, if this is on the road, I'm taking Saints all day. But at home, I gotta take the Seahawks. And Geno Smith really, when he came out, I was like, Geno Smith is the backup here. Like, this is bad. Like, they're definitely losing this game. And he played phenomenally well last week. So I'm going to go with Seattle. I'm going to ride with the Seahawks.
Oh, when you get to sit behind on the bench for 5 straight years, you should learn a thing or 5. But that's just my opinion.
Well, or 5, yeah.
You know he didn't learn much at WVU. You know that's not what they do down at WVU.
Yeah, it's not what they do at all. And Russell Wilson, I can't believe that guy just never gets injured. It's always a fluke thing. You know what I mean? Just like a follow through, kind of dinged his finger on like another finger, and he's just, the guy is a stud.
Nice. So total points for tiebreaker for Monday night. Total points scored.
Ooh, what is the Vegas over under spread on that one?
Oh, I don't know. I'm looking on a website that they're not paying me, so I'm not going to say who.
42 to 43 is like what I got.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Yeah, that's 43. Yeah, 43 is what it's on.
It's going to be sloppy, little sloppy defense. I'm going to go 45.
Okay, I want to go 37.
Ooh, big difference.
I want to go less. I just don't think there's enough offensive talent on the field to score a lot of points.
I don't think there's enough defense.
I know there's bad defenses, but at the end of the day, you got to have a capable offense to score on a bad defense.
Yeah, but you guys still got DK Metcalf, and now is God, what's the Saints wide receiver that was
Michael Thomas? He's still out.
Yeah, can he come back? Is he still out?
I don't think he's out. I don't know if he is. I got to activate him off my fantasy team.
Yeah, that's right. I knew he was on. He was out for a little bit. Yeah, but
no, he's still on the. He's still on the PUP.
Is he? Oh, he's still on the pop. You got Alvin Kamara there. I just feel like they're going to be able to put up points for sure. And I always, especially the bad defenses and bad offenses, you always got to account for some fluky, dumb play that just doesn't belong happening.
Okay. Well, after I dominate you this week, we'll have to figure out how much you have to catch up on me next week for week 8.
It's not going to happen. My parlay is going to hit, and then we're going to drink some happy.
If one of our parlays hits, we're streaming Instagram, YouTube live all next Sunday when we're partying together, drinking the Pappy. So,
well, yeah, if it comes down to the Monday night game, we'd have to do it live all weekend because that would be the deciding factor. The Monday night game.
Oh my God, yeah, because we got different ones here. So yeah, one of us is going to be yeah. We'll gladly be wrong to cheer for the other on that one.
Oh, you know what? You know what I'm going to be doing?
Ooh.
Cashing in money. I've never used this before, so it was a good time to use it.
I think on that note, we need to call it an episode here. So, hey, Ryan, thank you so much for coming on here on the Dude Network. First of the rest of the season, we're hoping. We'll keep a running tally here, and we'll see what we end up with at the end of the year. But just like the Eagles, you're probably going to lose. So,
thanks for having me, but that's not going to happen.
All right. Well, we'll figure it out next week. All right. Keep it going. Keep it going. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week on week 8.